Enrollment in higher education suffered across the board during the pandemic. Community colleges faced the sharpest declines overall. More than 700,000 students, many of them lower income, dropped out or delayed school. That is a 13% drop from 2019. Black male students left in droves, down 21%. Even before the pandemic, there were concerns about black men completing their degrees. Stephanie Sy reports on efforts in California to reverse that trend. It's part of our latest series on rethinking college.
Every morning, Chris Adams is in the zone, studying for the LSAT like his life depends on it. For the 34-year-old recent UCLA graduate, law school wasn't always in the cards.
My parents moved a lot when I was young, so I went to different schools, and just being in different environments where they probably didn't understand, where I came from and who I was.
And you were a child?
Yes. I was looking for guidance, didn't really know how the academic settings would be, didn't really know what to expect, didn't have good studying habits.
Adam's school trouble led to him being arrested at 16 and juvenile detention. He dropped out of high school and became a dad. His educational prospects dimmed.
What's more important, taking care of your family, paying the bills, or going to school?
His local community college in Sacramento offered a gateway back into education. Everything changed when he met Edward Bush, the president of the college.
Every student has the potential to succeed in college when given the correct support and tools necessary to be successful. So with the situation with Chris, he had the passion, he had the intelligence to be successful, but was struggling just because he didn't have practical tools.
Chris Adams found a mentor in Bush.
I want to do all these different things, and he listens and he just gives me a nice little plan, on how to achieve that.
He gives you a plan.
He gives me a plan. Put in those hours, how many units it says that you are completing, that's how many hours you should be spending. If it's 3 units, spend 3 hours studying. I never thought about it like that.
He graduated with honors from Cosumnes River College and transferred to UCLA.
Black males are not the thing that need to be fixed. It's the structures in which they interface with that needs to be disrupted and changed.
Bush co-founded Amend in 2006 with a mission of fostering success for black men at California's community colleges.
We focus not only in providing support to the student, but I think most importantly, we look at structures that have been barriers for our students.
Students and educators from across the state recently attended Amend's annual conference in Los Angeles.
If this is your first time here, I just want to tell you, this is a different kind of conference.
It was as much about networking and learning as it was a celebration.
Oftentimes people want to focus on, this UC or the state system or these private schools or this or that. It's about community colleges.
This year was the first in-person gathering since the pandemic, which took a disproportionate toll on communities of color. The racial inequities that were laid bare by the pandemic are also at play in education, says Bush.
Many of our students can go entire K through 16 and not have one black male teacher. And that's not the case for other ethnic or racial groups. And so because there's a lack of connection, they don't have the same information poured into them over a period of time. And so that creates a gap in opportunity and knowledge necessary to be successful.
70% of black men in California pursuing higher education attend a community college, but degree attainment and completion lag behind other groups. A recent analysis by the Education Trust found about 27% of black men held a college degree, compared to just over 44% of white men. That has impacts beyond the ivory tower of college. Higher levels of education often mean higher incomes, more spending power, and less likelihood of incarceration. Bush also explains the black male achievement gap as rooted in historical discrimination and psychological.
There's a lot of internalized negative stereotypes about who we are. For example, like you get on an elevator and someone is in there, they clench their purse. Or you're walking down the street, someone will go on the other side. These are daily occurrences that sometimes we put in the back of our mind because the totality and the weight of it is difficult to carry.
During the pandemic, community college enrollment suffered broadly, but black men saw the steepest decline, continuing a downward trend that Compton College has put resources toward fighting.
With most classes still taught virtually under pandemic protocols, the campus was largely empty. But college president Keith Curry is particularly concerned about the absence of black men in enrollment figures and in other metrics of success.
And my data is showing that the black men are not doing well in retention within a particular course. They're not doing well in persistence coming back next semester. They're not doing well with regards to graduation rates. We have to do something different.
Compton College is located just south of downtown Los Angeles. The area has seen the black population decline in recent years, but black male enrollment at the college has fallen even more. Enrollment of African American men plummeted from 919 in the fall of 2019 to 269 in the fall of 2021.
It might not affect all of our groups on campus, but particularly the black and male of color students are a priority based off the data. So what can we do as an organization to fix that? That's the key to it, is just really being thoughtful for it.
Using pandemic relief funding, he created the position of Director of Black and Males of Color Success at Compton College.
But for these individuals, oftentimes it was just one person at the campus saying, hey, I'm going to take you under my wing and show you this is where financial aid is, this is where orientation is, this is what you need to do to get this resource.
Antonio Banks' role is to develop a system to help black male students navigate Compton College. With more than half of its students food and housing insecure and nearly a quarter experiencing homelessness, he also tries to find ways to help with stressors outside college.
One of the biggest prohibitive factors for black men and men of color in community colleges have historically been food insecurity, right, housing insecurity, and transportation issues. The market that we're in right now is only exacerbating these issues. And
High prices for everything.
High prices for everything.
Banks attended the Amend Conference with Compton College students. Organizers hope the kind of mentorship opportunities at these events lead to more black men in college reaching their full potential, the way connecting with Dr. Bush did for Chris Adams.
When you look at your impact on his trajectory, what do you feel? Is it pride?
I mean, yeah, with 3.9 GPA, right? He was about to have his choice of law school. I can't take credit for it because it was already inside of Chris.
It's really somebody validating, what you've been doing, and telling you, leading you in the right direction.
And he's now doing that for his own 15-year-old son. Keith was recently accepted into a top high school that Chris hopes will put him on the track to college. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Stephanie Sy in Los Angeles.